Hey, this is Heather from the Renaissance English History Podcast, and this is your Tudor Minute for May the 9th. Today in 1509, the body of Henry VII was moved from Richmond Palace to St. Paul's. He would be buried 2 days later in Westminster Abbey with his wife, Elizabeth of York. The event was recorded 150 years later by James Peller Malcolm, who was actually born in America in 1767, but he went to London to pursue an artistic career after the American Revolution. He became an engraver who was admitted to the Society of Antiquaries. He created books on historical subjects. And in 1807, he created Londinium Redivivum, or an ancient history and modern description of London. It was a parochial history compiled from original records such as vestry books, church wardens' accounts, and parochial registers. The dean and chapter of St. Paul's Cathedral gave him free access to their archives, and the work is accompanied by 47 engraved plates. He writes, on the 9th of May, 1509, the body of Henry VII was placed on a chariot covered with a black cloth of gold, which was drawn by 5 spirited horses whose trappings were of black velvet, adorned with cushions of gold. The carriage had suspended on it banners of arms, titles, and pedigrees. A number of prelates preceded the body, who were followed by the deceased king's servants. After it were 9 mourners. 600 men bearing torches surrounded the chariot. The chariot was met in St. George's Fields, he died at Windsor, by all the priests and clergy of London and its neighbourhood, and at London Bridge by the Lord Mayor, Aldermen, and Common Council in black. To render this awful scene sublimely grand, the way was lined with children who held burning tapers. The slow, monotonous notes of the chant mixed with the sonorous tones of the great bells were not less grateful to the ear. When the body had arrived at St. Paul's, which was superbly illuminated, it was taken from the chariot and carried to the choir, where it was placed beneath a hearse arrayed with the accompaniments of death. A solemn mass and dirge were then sung, and a sermon preached by the Bishop of Rochester. That's your Tudor Minute for today. Remember, you can dive deeper into life in 16th century England through the Renaissance English History Podcast at englandcast.com, where we have some great talks from the 2017 Tudor Summit on the early Tudors.